What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We have a formation today that is, for me, is like my comeback formation. So if I'm like 1 down, 2 down, even 3 down, this is my go-to formation because it has a mixture of everything. And I just think it's one of those formations that at this point in time, as I'm talking now, it is working. And it's working how I expect it to work, if that makes sense. And yeah, just quickly, if you haven't, I highly recommend doing this SVC. 100%. This right back here, Alex Scott, is an absolute beast. She's overtaken my Loudrip. She's overtaken my Walker. She is amazing at those recovery tackles. I highly recommend this card. If you haven't done it, get it done. There's only a few days left on her. So yeah, brilliant card. Excellent card. One of my favourite cards so far. So anyway, let's jump into these instructions. So it's a 4-3-1-2. We're going to be balanced 55-70. Now the 70 is, if you go 71, you can see it changes on the right hand side. It's too much, and I've said this before. Weird, I know, but dropping it down 1 makes a difference. You get the auto offside trap, and you also get the centre backs. They're a little bit more aggressive, so they will step up, which is what you want, rather than having them on step up. We're going to go fast build up because obviously we want to get these players forward as quickly as possible. We're on direct passing, 45 on the width. We want to stay narrow, 7 in the box, 3 from corners, 1 at free kicks. Now, we're going to do some gameplay. I'm going to drop in some gameplay. We've got some Futchamps gameplay in here. We're going to have some rivals in here as well. What you're going to see is you're going to see me concede maybe 1, 2, 3 goals. But I'm going to switch to this formation, and you watch the comeback. The comeback is insane, and your opponent don't know what to do. And before you know it, I think over a course of 2 or 3 games, I've scored like 18, 19 goals. So it's one of those formations that you don't want to start with, but you want to switch to if you want to, get the goals back. If you're losing 1, 2, 3-0, and you don't want to quit. You want to give it your best. This formation allows you to get those comeback goals without using the constant press or the press after possession lost, etc., etc. So I'm going to stop waffling, let's jump into the gameplay, and then we'll come back and we'll do the instructions. So we start off here with a corner, and then we get a nice little bicycle kick with Hullet. That sets us the Futchamps up quite nicely for us. This is our first game. We've already transitioned into the formation that we want, and again, like I say, because we are using specific instructions on these players, you are going to find your players not necessarily in the position you expect them to be in. So, like, for example, my Grinch, you're going to see on the right, you're going to see on the left, you're going to see in the middle. But again, it will all make sense once you see the instructions. What you will notice is that through ball is always there. Especially like having 2 strikers up front, your through ball is always going to be there. You don't have to play through a cam. The counter attack is amazing as well. Is pretty fast, hence why we're using fast build up. Also, you will notice because we are using the 70 depth, you win the ball higher up the pitch. It's not a press. It's not a counter press. It's not a press after possession loss type of thing. It's just a natural thing the 70 depth allows you to do. And if you use the second man press, which obviously if you watch the gameplay you will see I use the second man press quite a lot, you will see the advantages of that second man press and how you can cause your opponent to put passing they think is safe but then is not because you're cutting it out. So yeah, I mean it's pretty nice. It is pretty nice. This formation works against the more the more narrow formations. If you come up against somebody that uses like hug sideline or something like that, you're not going to struggle. You're just going to find that your left back and right back are not as effective as they would be. So then you have to kind of find a way of playing it through the middle. That's where your triangles come in, your 1-2s. Like here, for example, we're having to do like little plays and then get it out wide. Again, you can see here there's a massive overload. That through ball, Werner's in. You don't necessarily have to have the fast players up front. You'll see that we use a lot of different players. We use Mallard, we use Voller, Werner, Eusebio. We use all different types of players. Again, we're waiting for Garincha from that midfield position to get forward, which is why we use the winger in that position. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I like the fact that he's quick and he can get up and down pretty quick. Again, you can see here I've brought Zidane on. We bring Hullet on. We change it up. We try different players, different positions all the time. You don't necessarily have to have. I mean, Eusebio at one point, I think I had him at DM. So yeah, it doesn't matter where you place these players because you're using like a free roam type thing. Each player, like for me, I've said this before. The players I use, I know in real life, in the respect of I know their weak foot, I know their strong foot, I know how quick they are, things like that. I don't tend to use players I don't know nothing about because obviously I have mine set up that I can see the name above the head, so I know what player's what. So I know, for example, if I get the ball out to Ronaldo, I know he's super quick and got a good right foot. If I get the ball out to Mallard, I know she's going to be, skillful. If that makes sense, I always make sure. So it doesn't matter to me. If I was using players I know nothing about, then I probably wouldn't have this set up the way it is. So just bear that in mind. Try and use players that you know about in real life and that you know their strengths and weaknesses. So that way, when they do overlap and change position and they're in different sides of the pitch than you expect, at least you know. At least you know where they're going to sit and how they're going to perform. Again, another bicycle kick with Vola. Like I say, this is a formation that we use if we need to get a goal back. So we went from the 4-3-3, which is why you saw the wide player there. So yeah, we went from the 4-3-3 to the 4-3-1-2, which is what I do throughout my entire games. I've said it before, I don't stick to one formation, I switch between them. Quite a few of them. So anyway, you saw the goals there. Let's jump into the instructions. So the instructions on this one: left back and right back on overlap. These are your wide players that you're basically going to be your left mid and right mid, or left wing and right wing. You're going to also, these are your switchable players, so left to right, right to left. They are always going to be in acres and acres and acres of space. Their left back, your opponent's left back, your opponent's right back, your opponent's right wing, left wing, they will not track these players, which is the beauty of this. The only way they can track these players is if they go to hug sideline. A lot of people don't do that. So that's why this one is really good for that. And that is why I keep them on just overlap. And like I say, her recovery skills are insane. So I'm pretty happy with that. So ideally, you want at least a left back or right back with an amazing recovery skills, like a Carl Walker or like an Alex Scott. So the midfield. So we're going to go with Sawyer. She's an amazing DM. Absolutely amazing DM. Highly recommend this card as a DM. Again, her recovery tackles are immense. So yeah, stay back while attacking, balance crossing runs, cover centre, free roam. I don't want her stuck in one position. I want her to be able to move around and tackle whoever she wants to tackle. I'm going to use my Garincha here. You don't have to. You can use whoever you want. But he's on cover wing, since he's going to basically be my, when we defend, it's a 4-4-2, so he's going to be my left mid. She is my centre mid. And then we're going to have Zidane. We're going to have him on cover wing. He's going to be my right mid. And he's on balance, you can see there. So left mid, right mid, CM when we defend. And then obviously my cam here is on come back on this defence and get in the box for crosses and free roam. Again, I want this guy to be able to move wherever he wants to. I'm using Musiala because I'm doing a challenge at the minute, but normally it's Fernandez or somebody like that there. And he will be your CM, so there's your 4-4-2. Two CMs, left mid, right mid. That's your 4-4-2 in defence. But with the added beauty of these two, they can move around that midfield wherever they want to. If you've watched the gameplay, you will see sometimes he's on the left, sometimes he's on the right, sometimes in the middle. Same with her. She will track her players. That is awesome. And then the strikers are on balance, getting behind and stay forward. Again, want them to have the option of running across that back four. So, hope that makes sense. Obviously, if you haven't watched the gameplay and you've just skipped to this point, it's not going to make much sense. So I suggest you go back and have a look at the gameplay to see how all this fits in and ties in with basically my comeback, my comeback squad, my comeback team. So yeah, anyway, hit that like button if you like what you see. Subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. It's free of charge, doesn't cost anything, and it shows that these videos are being looked at. Yeah, we're getting really, really close to team of the season now. Got some more formations coming, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to pick your 4 slots and your starting formation to use during TOTS. So basically, we'll have you all set up, ready to go into TOTS to get as highly ranked as you possibly can. 16 plus wins, I hope, with the formations that we set up that are ready to go, barring any like late patches or anything like that. And yeah, everybody will get great rewards. We'll all have a good time, and that's what it's all about. So anyway, take care.